You got to respect yourself. That's why it's important to have self-care, and why mental health is so goddamn important for that reason alone, so that you protect yourself and don't allow yourself to be, overtaken by leeches. As a man, what were your thoughts on overturning Roe versus Wade? Well, the short answer is I don't agree. I don't agree with it. So I guess we'll get into the long answer. And truth be told, I'm gonna highlight my ignorance about this thing. I really didn't know much about Roe versus Wade. I mean, but me being a man, I probably as an American, I probably should give a fuck. I probably should have gave a fuck about it before obviously the situation. But like I said, I'm bold enough to admit that I really didn't remember much. This is like, I know about Plessy versus Ferguson and Brown versus Board of Education, all the legendary, court cases and stuff that we've had in our history. But as for this situation about abortion, here's my thoughts on abortion. I'm for, I don't care for babies being killed, if you will, but there are stipulations that come. I don't think you should be condemned. I think a woman should have a choice, though. You know what I mean? That's my stance on it. I believe a woman should have a choice as to what she wants to do with her body. It is her body. I'm not going to call that right, though. You know what I'm saying? I say it's a woman has a right. Why does it even have to be considered a right? I think that's just natural. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a right to look at my wrist. That's my wrist. You know what I'm saying? It's your body. So I look at it like that, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? If a woman chooses to get an abortion for whatever reason, that's on her. What I honestly feel like this is about, I feel like this is religion's influence on society. And for anybody that's in your religion, I hope it works for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm more with this, in the spirit. I work with more in spirituality than a set of rules made up by playing my God is better than your God type shit. But for me, I feel like because killing babies is frowned upon, again with the Bible influence and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But what about? There's so many stipulations. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's not a black and white case with abortions. There's many situations where a woman has gotten raped. Little girls might be getting raped by whoever. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of other scenarios that can come up. For instance, an ectopic pregnancy, where if you don't get this abortion, you may die, type thing. You know what I'm saying? Again, these are things I'm learning from my friends. Female friends, obviously, but it's things I didn't know about, honestly. It's unfortunate. I feel like this is equivalent to me not caring about politics until Trump became president. It's always when something bad happens where we get the focus. I think that's probably society today. But with this Roe versus Wade being overturned, I can understand a woman's frustration dealing with this shit. You're feeling like your voice isn't heard. You already feel like that being a woman in America. And just imagine if you lived overseas. I'm not trying to compare, but you get what I'm saying. But even here, for a place that actually does recognize a woman, will speak to a woman, you still have to deal with shit like such, where you're talking about taking away your ability to get an abortion and making it a law about that. So the question is, now that you've already vented and you've shared your anger and all of that stuff, what can be done? because I assure you, no amount of sarcasm or passive aggressive meme is going to change the law. All right? So I get it. As a society, whenever shit happens, we like to run the shit in the ground through memes and all that stuff like a child would do if they didn't get their way. You know what I mean? But if anything, use that anger, that energy to the polls. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to midterms and all that stuff, that's from what I understand. I mean, talking to the people that know more about this shit than I do. And they say that, you know, what you can do is obviously about who you vote in the office. And the fact that it's really the red states, from what I understand. Like the information that I'm gathering is that the red states are the ones that are trying to do away with being able to have abortions, and stating that you have to go to like Mexico or some shit like to get it. And it's just, honestly, it's just unnecessary. My thing is like, what is it doing? What was this doing? As far as like having women having the ability to get abortions. You know what I mean? Like it's already, I imagine it's already tough for a woman to even think about doing such. You know, it's already rough, you know, but there are certain sacrifices that I believe some women feel like they have to do for whatever reason, like not bringing a child into a world that they're not ready for, or not even want to bring a child into this world the way that it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't get to speak for women. I don't get to speak for women in this one. Only thing I can do as a man is just highlight the fact that I recognize, like I hear your voice, I hear your cry, and show my, and ultimately just show my support for it. I mean, like I said, my stance on it is like, yeah, I'm not really for abortion. I'll be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as like if something were to happen where I got a woman, you know, like in my past situations where I had got a woman, so I thought she was. That's a whole nother story we can talk about another day. But I thought that this individual was pregnant. Was I ready for a kid? No, I wasn't. But I was willing to prepare myself for this individual for this child, possibly Bartholomew. You know, my favorite name for would be my first son. If Bartholomew were to ever come into this world, I would be ready and make myself ready. But let's just say that, you know, yeah, that's what I mean. Like for me, I wouldn't want to have the abortion. And if she did get the abortion, obviously I wouldn't have her do it alone. I might not be too happy about the decision, but I would respect it. That's just me. But if it came down to having Bartholomew or like getting or the abortion or whatever, I would prefer to have my kid. That's really what I'm saying. But if a woman chooses to do so, I believe that that's well within her. I'm not gonna, like I said, we call it a right or whatever. I just feel like it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Like for me, like it's a no-brainer. Like you should be able to do what you want to do to your body or what have you. You know, I've never carried a child. I've never carried a child for 9 months. I don't know the ins and outs of being a woman, a female, to even have any more opinion to tell a woman to not have an abortion or something like that. Yeah, there are stipulations that come up where, you know what I'm saying, abortion may be used in, I don't know, excess or what have you, but I like I said, I really gonna use this time now to kind of like educate myself a little bit more on this, because it draws up a lot of conversation, especially right now, being that the shit is overturned. So, but I mean, like I said, ultimately, I don't believe that it should have been overturned. I'm totally against it. I believe women should have women should have the fucking right, okay? All right, women should have the right, because I can't think of what I'm trying to say right now, but I think you get the point. I just think it's, I'm not exactly sure why we're even having this going on right now. I think that's really what I guess that's my confusion on it. You know what I'm saying? I tend to be in my own little world at times. and you know, stick my head into like the dirt hole, like an ostrich hole or some shit, and look up and like, damn, that shit is going on in America, like for real. But overturning this thing, I get women that feel like it's like a setback, you know, or you can look at it from another perspective. You can look at it as a minor setback for a major comeback, and it all depends on your power and how you use it. You know what I mean? Come election time, because they're gonna need your vote. You know that. So how are you going to do it? Are you going to use your anger and go and put a post up on social media? Or are you going to go to the polls? Are you going to, you know what I'm saying, like put the right people in the local government that's going to be able to assist you, that actually care about your needs? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that like to play victim. I'll say that. A lot of people like to play victim, but when it comes time to go to war and all that shit, they're not really ready to do what it takes to get shit done. So all I'm saying is that if indeed, you know what I'm saying, you with your frustration, all that fire, all that passion that you have as a woman or a man knowing about this shit, I'm saying that you go to the polls and you make your voice heard. What's something you used to believe about relationships but no longer do? I used to believe that women wanted a nice guy. Yeah, that's for damn certain, boy. And let me tell you, I grew up in a house where I felt like I had to be the good son in order to receive love, right? So just imagine how I was. And it was all an act, because I was mischievous. And a couple little girls I went to high school and middle school with can tell you the mischievous shit that we done together and all that stuff. But in the eyes of my parents, and how you engage with your parents is how you end up engaging in your relationship. So I tried to come off like the good son, perfect, you know what I mean? Or I always feel like love will be withheld from me. So just being a nice guy, right? So when I wouldn't be in a relationship, I would be really badass, you know what I'm saying? As far as like how I carried myself, engaging with women, right? But when I would get into a relationship, I would be so afraid and fear of losing them that I was playing a role. Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, God rest his soul. I kept trying to be perfect. So I really believe that that's what women wanted. Women wanted you to be the nice guy, always, you know, saying something so sweet and forever doing like poetry and you know, just all these nice fucking things like all the time. And I know some women are like, well, I actually like that stuff. Nigga, what I'm saying to you is like, I was doing that shit all the time. Like, again, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like always coming with something charming to say. You know, that was what I felt I had to. I had to be super charming in order to keep you to the point where you started to recognize the act. And then it was no longer charming to you. You know what I'm saying? It was no longer charming, it became annoying. You weren't dealing with a real person, you were dealing with a character. And I had to learn that, really. I had to really learn that shit. So, I mean, believing about like relationships, I used to believe that women wanted nice guys. And this is why I no longer believe that. I believe that a woman wants a man who is dangerous but civilized, as Jordan Peterson put it, in which I do agree. As in a sense, like, you know, you don't want to be with a pushover. And you know what I'm saying? I never forget my ex sharing that shit with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you just told me straight up. Yeah, I thought you were a pushover. I was like, damn. I guess I really am playing this nice guy shit, like being nice. You know, honestly, the military. When I went to the military, that shit fucked me up. I got scared as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I moved away, and it was my first time being away from home, so I was trying to be nice so that nobody would leave me and all this other shit, right? Like anybody, friends, relationships. I was afraid to show my true self for fear of being abandoned, and which is stemming from like, you know, childhood and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what she shared with me. She was like, yeah, I thought you were, well, you know, when she first met me, like long time ago, like this is like 2009, right? Like, yeah, I thought you were a pushover. And looking back at it, I see that shit. Like, who the fuck would respect that? As honestly, real shit. Like, niggas, men watching this, that nice guy shit is gonna get you fucked up in the long run, all right? Like, you have to learn a balance. That's probably the best way to describe it. You have to learn a balance when it comes to this. This is the best way to explain this. If you're going to be nice and you're gonna give away favors, people gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can walk into a store, if you can walk in a Food Lion, Winn-Dixie, Kroger, wherever you're from, if you can go in there and grab whatever you want without penalty, without a healthy boundary, you're gonna take it, right? And that's exactly how it goes for some women. Don't get me wrong, there's some women that are a little bit, you know, they show a little bit more kindness. But there's some ruthless motherfuckers out here. There's some bitches that's gonna take it. You understand me? It's not a game. So, what I'm saying is that you have to have healthy boundaries. And women should have them too. But, you know, for the sake of, you know, obviously for this conversation, you want to have healthy boundaries, man. Like, honestly, don't just let somebody do what they want to do. You have to have a frame. You have to give her something to respect. Because if there's nothing to respect, why would she? You know what I'm saying? Why would anybody, for that matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to respect yourself. That's why it's important to have self-care and why mental health is so goddamn important for that reason alone, so that you protect yourself and don't allow yourself to be, you know, overtaken by leeches and people that would love to take advantage of you, manipulators, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? People get used to you being there for them, and you going out of your way. You know, it becomes a pattern, if you will. So if you show something and you just do all these overly nice things because you don't love yourself, people are going to treat you like that. And I had to learn that the hard way, like a very, very hard lesson throughout my life. I'm like, why the fuck do I keep trying to be nice to all these people and they keep taking advantage of me? Because you don't respect yourself. And I didn't respect myself. I know I didn't. You know, looking back at a lot of stuff, everything connects when you look back and you see why things didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? It's like being able to, like I said, have a frame, be respectful, be masculine. And of course, you know, manage your feminine energy too, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like romanticism and things like that. But I just know that the nice guy shit, I really did think that if I was a nice guy, I would, the relationship would work. You know, security wise, yeah, it'd be great. It'd make a great beta provider. You know what I'm saying? But there's another side of this thing that she knows she wants. You know, every woman watching, you know, there's another side of this shit you want to have. You have to embrace your darkness. And until you learn how to embrace your darkness without fear of acceptance and all that stuff, you are going to play it safe. You're going to be the nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like a situation where you're called to respond in an assertive manner, but you're afraid of how you're going to look if you show anything more than just being a nice guy. And this is what I lived. I lived this shit. You know, there's situations that came up in my life where I didn't do it because I was afraid of losing my identity. I was attached to this identity of being a nice guy. And so what ends up happening is like no action is still an action. And she sees that, and she no longer feels protected. And you can just about forget it if a woman doesn't feel protected by you. You know what I'm saying? There's no respect. There will be no respect given. There's nothing to respect for that matter. But I mean, these are lessons learned, and it's great to go through these things, look back, see things, and be like, "Fuck, yeah, you was on some beta shit there, like for real." But learning from it, not so much feeling down about it, but knowing that you're gonna do better going forward. Just learning so much about yourself, really. The study of you. Once you learn to master your thoughts, master your mind, you can master this life. But like I said, something I used to believe about relationships and I no longer do is that nice guys finish. Nice guys finish last. The nice guys don't win. That's it. That nice guy shit don't win. And you know what I mean? So it just has to be a balance. And that's all I'm really saying. I'm not telling you to be mean to a woman or anything like that. I'm telling you to just show that masculine presence. Yeah. I'm telling you to show that masculine presence when you are with a woman. You let her know that you make a woman feel safe and protected. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all right to do kind things for people. Just when you're trying to be nice for shit, it's almost like you're trying to get validation. But kindness is unconditional love. And that is the difference between being nice and being kind. Kind is that you're doing something in the kindness of your heart. Unconditional love, you see a bum on the street, you hand them money or whatever, like Coming to America and shit. Randolph. Or or you do things for validation. You're overly nice to people, being the nice guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like understanding a balance. You don't have to be a dick, but you do have to give her dick. And you have to have a frame. You have to have something that can be respected. And if you're not taught these things, how the hell are you gonna know? So, I mean, it's great to learn lessons and be better going forward. And learn as you go along, you know what I'm saying? Like every day is a lesson, everything is a lesson. Once you're in line with the universe, everything is your teacher. You either learn what you like or you learn what you don't like. And watch your energy, straight up. Like honestly, watch your energy. That negative energy, that shit is contagious. So definitely watch the company you keep. I don't care, fuck you, what relationship you're in. Your friend, your mama, your daddy, cousins, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just watch that negative energy. But all in all, nice guys don't win. What's the most sensible thing you've ever heard someone say? Okay. The most sensible thing I've heard someone say to me that helped me heal just like that in an instant. When I was talking with my best friend T-Dot. Shout out to T-Dot, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have some great content coming soon. But we were in Detroit. You know, it was my daughter's graduation weekend, right? And I was frustrated. I had a lot of built up just anger, resentment towards my family, you know what I'm saying? And she asked me, I forgot what she asked me, but she pretty much told me that you just want to be heard and loved. And I was like, fuck. That's what literally all of these actions, all of this behavior, all these years was just trying to be heard and loved, like a child, like waiting to be picked up. When you've already, you're whole, you know what I'm saying? You're not incomplete, you're not broken. And you're not a child anymore, but that's how crazy mental health can be, and psychology and all that, like surrounding shit what it does for you mentally, you can literally be in your 50s, your 40s, hell, even your 60s, and you're 5 years old in the mind. And if you don't recognize it early enough, you'll see how people respond, especially through social media. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You see all these people doing shit that you wouldn't dare think a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old would do. And it's like, why are they operating like that of a child? And you question these things, but with a mental health lens, you can see how an individual is still that wounded 5-year-old child. And they honestly don't know any better. You would think they would, but they don't know any better. Otherwise, they would. You know what I'm saying? They would do something differently. But I mean, that's the beauty of learning mental health. So you can see these things. That's why it's important to go to therapy. My people, black people, go to therapy. Descendants of slaves, you need therapy for real. Like, no fucking joke. Now, everybody else, yes, you go to therapy too. Asians, whites, Latinos, and aliens that's out there that's listening, AT aliens, everybody go to fucking therapy. Like, for real. So we can learn about ourselves. So that you don't respond every time somebody says something slick to you, and you recognize that it's not about you. Nothing anyone does is ever about you. It's clearly about what the fuck they're dealing with on the inside. And but being heard and loved, that was my issue. I didn't feel that way, and I just felt entitled to a certain type of love and affection and things to happen in my life, and I wasn't going to rest until I got it. But you can't change people. You can't make people do shit they don't want to fucking do, and you got to respect that. And but you know, entitled, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt so entitled to shit, and a certain type of love. Like what would love look like? What would it look like to see that, you know, you were loved by your family? That's the question. I think my therapist asked me that. I think both of my therapists, one in Miami and you know what I'm saying, I think here. And it's like, well, what would it look like? And honestly, it's an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, again, you're expecting people, like, we all have different mindsets that we, as humans, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, we go through similar situations, but we all have our own mind. So we view love in a different way based off of, like, the love we received or didn't receive in our childhood. So, you got a lot of people say, well, I'm not the huggy type. That's because your ass didn't get hugs when you was growing up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? like we're very capable of showing affection. It's just gonna take effort. That's what I feel. But like I said, heard and loved. It just really hit home. It was anchored deep for me. And honestly, whenever me and T-Dot talk, like it's always like it's crazy how it's like that. When I talk to her. Like I said, she's just definitely a very kindred spirit for me, and how she's able to navigate what I feel, and even we feed off of each other like that. But when she said heard and love, everything I felt in that moment was released. It was just letting go, and that's another thing. Taoism, excuse me, the art of letting go, and that's why I felt in that moment. Where I understood that I wanted to be heard and loved, right? But I just wanted to be seen. And heard and love goes so many ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? You look, again, going back to social media, you got people posting their fucking plates, like on paper plates, styrofoam plates. It'd be steak and like gravy and mashed potatoes and shit with some kind of caption that's thought-provoking just to be heard. We will post selfies of ourselves to say self-love. Bitch, that ain't no self-love, man. It's community love. If it's self, it's been just for you. You wanted validation. You know what I mean? That's just, like I said, that's just my belief on it. And we're all guilty of this shit, man. Like, we just get caught up. The ego just loves that attention and loves to be heard and loved. And it's never enough. That's the thing about the ego. It's never fucking full. It is empty all the time. It's never enough praise. You'll never get enough praise when you're operating in the ego. But when you can operate in the soul you appreciate and you're grateful for whatever comes your way, you know what I mean? And but like looking back and like all leading up into that moment where T-Dot said, "You just want to be heard and loved." I was in pain. I was just living in the pain body. I was expressing it in different ways. I was operating in my wounded inner child. I was throwing tantrums, you know what I'm saying? Like what a child would do. Steamed up, mad as fuck. Why wasn't anybody there for me? You know, like when I need them. You know, these are just thoughts that are just running through my head and all this stuff. But they didn't know how. I'm gonna say that. You know, they just didn't. Yeah, they didn't know any better. That's anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, and like you would look at people and you have this expectation. Mind you, an expectation is based off of your thoughts, your mind, not theirs. So you have to just keep that in mind. That expectations all spawn from your own thoughts, not theirs. So I'm never gonna live up to your expectation of me in your mind. And vice versa. So it's like learning to leave the world of illusion and take things for what you see, not for what you envision in your mind, because you're not able to control people. Not that way, at least, you know what I'm saying? They have to want to do it for themselves. And I don't know, that's one of my favorite quotes, if you will, heard and loved. And I keep that in mind daily. Like, do I feel like I'm being heard? Am I being heard by myself? You know, I do. Of course, like most people, I'm doing shit for like validation and you get caught up because it's a routine, especially getting on your cell phone and, you know, you get to scrolling, you get in the habit of like, even sharing even sharing like memes on psychology and shit like that. You can get caught up sending 30 of them bitches just to be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Getting likes and all that stuff. So the ego is funny. And the ego is a sneaky bitch that likes to come into there and like gets that attention. But it's being grateful. I mean, it can be both. Only you know. Because like, you know, like the individual that posts like a selfie or some shit, 30 minutes to go by, don't nobody like the shit, and then you notice that bitch down. Pure ego. That's pure fucking ego right there. If you care, if you didn't give a fuck what nobody thought, you keep that shit up and you do it for you. But again, we're human, man. That's I mean, we can laugh at ourselves. We shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. Real talk. But like I said, I love hearing that quote. You know, heard and love. It really did change my life. Like I said, I'm forever grateful for my sister. I love her to life. Just amazing. I'm grateful for the friendship that we've had since we were kids. You know what I'm saying? Riding bikes, riding around Burbage Grant back home in Virginia. But yeah, heard and love. Make sure you pay attention to yourself.